I have spoken to doctors, nurses, many women who've given birth to children, and all of them say the same thing. Those photographs of Meghan and the way the baby bump performed are totally unexpected, and they're not aware of any baby, any pregnant woman who is genuinely pregnant having her bump perform the way Meghan's has performed.
Something serious is unfolding behind palace walls, and this time it is not staying quiet. Lady C has stepped forward with bold claims about an investigation tied to Archie and Lilibet, and the reaction coming from Meghan is turning heads fast. The big question right now is simple. What exactly has been uncovered, and why is it causing such a strong response at this moment? Insiders are hinting that this situation could run deeper than expected, and people are starting to look at everything with fresh eyes. Lady C is not holding back either. She is laying out details that have people talking non-stop, and the tension around Meghan's reaction is only adding more heat. Some are asking if this is just a misunderstanding being blown out of proportion, while others believe something much bigger could be happening. The timing, the statements, and the emotional responses are all lining up in a way that feels impossible to ignore. And the story keeps picking up speed with every new twist. Now the spotlight is shifting to specific details that are raising eyebrows. A royal-focused content creator pointed out a number listed on an official document, explaining that the first 3 digits represent a birth location code. That code is supposed to connect directly to the state where the child was born.
New question marks over the veracity of Princess Lilibet's birth certificate, and it also raises serious concerns about whether Meghan Markle has been honest with the public about her daughter's birth,
making it a key detail for examination. Here is where things get complicated. The number linked to Lilibet begins with 105, but publicly available data suggests California's code is listed as 104. That mismatch, even if small, is what is driving a wave of questions right now. People are asking how something like that could appear on an important document, and whether it points to a mistake or something else entirely. With Archie and Lilibet holding places in the royal line of succession, even small details are suddenly treated as a much bigger deal. Critics.
I want you to pay attention to this number right here. The 105-202, the 105-2021, 163-206. That number is incredibly important. This is directly from the government's website, guys. And this is reviewing a birth certificate birth area code. Okay? And then it tells you what it is. It's the first 3 digits. You remember the 105 that you saw? Is the birth area code. It tells you in which state the child was born. We have seen that in Lilibet's birth certificate. It states that her number is 105. So surely that is California, right? It turns out that California is 104. And let's not forget that Archie is 6th in line to the throne, and Lilibet is 7th in line to the throne, which is insane.
Are now pointing to multiple inconsistencies in the paperwork, saying that something does not fully add up. At the same time, others are reminding everyone that administrative errors do happen and that this could have a simple explanation. Even that idea, though, is being debated heavily, and the conversation is only getting louder as more people weigh in. Then comes an even more surprising angle. Some are suggesting that the code 105 could be associated with Colorado. If that were true, it would clash with the widely shared account that Lilibet was born in Santa Barbara. That contrast is fueling confusion, because Meghan and Harry had already shared a clear timeline, including the hospital. Those details made the story feel complete at the time, but now they are being revisited and questioned. Reports about the medical professional connected to the birth stepping away from her practice not long after have sparked curiosity. Though no confirmed link has been established, still some feel there are too many gaps.
Even if you put the questions of whether Meghan actually bore these children to one side, Harry has now admitted on the record that he will not allow them ever to come to the United Kingdom. Well, some royal families would not allow young princes or princesses to be in the line of succession if they were not educated in the country of which one day they might serve.
To ignore. Others strongly push back, saying the claims are speculative and not backed by solid evidence. That divide is what keeps this topic alive. Royal births are usually supported by clear records and confirmation, leaving little room for confusion. That is why this situation is drawing so much attention, as people begin asking for straightforward answers. Some claims suggest there is less publicly verified detail compared to other royal births. Though these points remain disputed, the argument centers on public interest since the children are part of the royal line of succession. At the center of this debate are two very different viewpoints. One side believes the situation is surrounded by confusion and mixed signals. The other side raises concerns about whether everything has been fully explained. These claims remain unverified with no official confirmation. The conversation then shifts to visuals. Some critics point to past photos and question whether everything looked consistent, though these opinions are highly disputed. Even so, the images keep resurfacing, adding more energy to an already intense discussion. From there, attention moves to the royal line of succession, where things feel even more serious. Official records still clearly list Prince Harry, Archie, and Lilibet in their positions, and nothing has changed on that front. That is what makes the situation feel unresolved, because despite all the speculation, the official structure remains the same. There is also growing curiosity about how different members of the royal family might view it.
All other royal babies in the line of succession have had their births signed off. Princess Eugenie, Princess Beatrice, Sarah York, Diana Wales, Catherine Wales, you name it. Everybody knows where the babies came from, at what time, with proof. The only two children that there is no proof for is Prince Archie Bunker and Princess Lily. You better hope that she's really entitled to what they claim she's entitled to.
Everything. Some believe King Charles prefers to avoid tension, while others suggest Prince William could take a firmer stance if needed. That contrast is adding another layer of intrigue as people wonder what might be happening behind closed doors. Another angle focuses on the children's connection to the UK and whether being raised outside affects expectations tied to royal roles. This part of the discussion connects to a larger conversation about tradition, identity, and how institutions evolve over time. Some warn that opening a public debate about the line of succession could spiral into something much larger. Once these conversations go public, they can quickly expand, turning a focused issue into a wider debate about the monarchy itself. At the same time, others point out how complex the system really is. Decisions involving the monarchy are not simple. The king is head of state in multiple countries. Any major change would involve more than just one nation.
The hair color on these children keeps changing. There's one picture where this alleged Lilibet has sort of a sandy blonde hair from a distance. And then she's got bright, stark red curly hair. We don't know if, the Sussex Squad and PR have photoshopped some of it. But the bottom line for me is that there is no consistent reference, no real point of reference for the faces of these alleged children. We have no idea what they look like, if they have Markle genetics, we don't know what they look like.
Public opinion is also playing a role. Polls suggest strong support for the royal family, while Harry and Meghan face divided reactions. Then the focus shifts to royal travel protocols. These rules exist to protect the line of succession, with advice against senior royals traveling together. While unlikely scenarios are discussed, some argue that these precautions highlight how seriously the system is taken. Others push back, saying the risks are extremely low and the system is
Markle
stable.
At all in The Voice?
No. I haven't sensed Markle at all from the beginning of this. And again, I think any family, when you're looking at genealogy and you're looking at photographs and you're thinking, oh, well, she's got his nose or her nose. And oh my God, there's grandpa's nose. We haven't seen any photographs to use as identifying point of references for family genetic traits. So we're left thinking, okay, are these stand-ins? Do they not want the real children seen? What's the deal? But we cannot say that these are Markle children.
Still, the royal family is being watched closely. Past examples, including Princess Diana's travel decisions, are often brought up as part of this wider debate. Attention also turns to Prince William, with some claims suggesting he continues to travel with his family despite traditional advice. Supporters argue he is experienced and capable, while critics point out that no situation is completely risk-free. Just as things settle, new claims emerge suggesting Prince Harry's memoir details may have been included for strategic reasons. Some believe this could relate to future legal situations, though these ideas remain unconfirmed and based on speculation.
Is she purposefully now trying to take on the royal family?
Yes, I think this is one of her things where she says, look, I can do anything much better than you. And the Queen is now no longer here. She realises it's such a good time because King Charles won't get involved with that because he's not well and he's got plenty to do. And William and Catherine, they've got their own issues and problems and very busy, and their children. So she's just done it and is probably roaring with laughter how clever it is.
It's not just making a mockery of the royal family. They're making a mockery of the United States Constitution.
Correct.
That prohibits the use of royal titles, especially in American politics. And Harry and Meghan, can't be ignorant to this fact. They've used the titles against congressional advisement on continuum, preceding public, even political speeches. So they simply can't do it. It creates a false sense of elevated status and reliance that the public have.
The tone sharpens even more as opinions about Meghan come into focus. Some describe her as highly calculated and deliberate. Others strongly disagree, saying these portrayals are unfair and not supported by evidence. The debate remains intense. Media coverage is adding another layer. A recent analysis piece has sparked strong reactions, with critics calling it one-sided. Questions are being raised about how Prince William and King Charles are portrayed. And
every photograph we've seen of the alleged children, their hair color changes, their height and body type changes, their face changes. So this is just, some random voice. All we saw was some little hand that seemed so small, it didn't seem like it belonged to a 3-year-old. So much was inconsistent about this that, I just think it's a kind of a turn-off. I'm not buying.
Meghan Markle's daughter doesn't speak at all like a 3-year-old. Who owns the voice? It will show up much better if we hear several sentences, and then you hear Meghan in this interview saying, beautiful. I mean, what's going on?
Well, I think she's always wanted to show that the children are much cleverer than they are for their age. They might be very clever, but all sorts of things that Archie, I think, is going fishing and catches fish, all sorts of strange things that they manage to do all by themselves because they're their children.
some argue that media access and relationships can shape how stories are told. Others say this is simply how modern media works. Either way, the criticism is growing, with some voices openly challenging the credibility of certain reports. At the heart of everything is a mix of strong opinions and very few confirmed facts. That is what keeps the story alive. Subscribe to Monarchy Cup for the latest updates as this story continues to unfold.